Hello, devoted fans of Days of Our Lives. Welcome back to TV Days Drama Digest, where we peel back the layers of Salem's most gripping storylines, dissect the emotional turmoil, and speculate on what's next for our beloved characters. Today, we're diving headfirst into a storm brewing in the heart of Salem, a conflict so raw, so emotionally charged, that it could shake the very foundations of the town. The question on everyone's mind is J.J. Devereaux, one of Salem's most complex and endearing characters, about to pack his bags and leave town for good? And if so, what could drive him to make such a heart-wrenching decision? Buckle up, because we're about to unravel the drama, explore the past, and gaze into the uncertain future of J.J. Devereaux, portrayed by the immensely talented Casey Moss. A collision of past and present, J.J. and Theo's explosive reunion. The heart of this storyline lies in a devastating clash between two of Salem's sons, J.J. Devereaux and Theo Carver. For those who followed Days of Our Lives through its twists and turns, the history between these two characters is nothing short of tragic. Years ago, J.J., then a rookie cop, made a split-second decision that changed both their lives forever. In a moment of chaos, J.J. shot Theo, mistaking him for a threat. The incident left Theo fighting for his life and J.J. drowning in guilt, his world turned upside down by the consequences of his actions. The shooting wasn't just a plot point, it was a seismic event that rippled through Salem, leaving scars on both men that time has yet to fully heal. Fast forward to the present, and the wounds of that fateful night have been torn open once more. J.J., after a years-long hiatus from the Salem Police Department, has returned to the force, donning his badge and picking up his gun once again. For J.J., this was a chance at redemption, a way to reclaim the career he once loved and prove to himself and the town that he's more than the mistakes of his past. But for Theo, J.J.'s return to law enforcement is a painful reminder of the trauma he endured. The sight of J.J., now a detective, carrying the very weapon that nearly took his life, has reignited Theo's anger and fear, setting the stage for a confrontation that's as heartbreaking as it is inevitable. The clash between J.J. and Theo wasn't just a heated exchange, it was a collision of unresolved pain, guilt, and betrayal. Theo, still grappling with the psychological scars of the shooting, sees J.J.'s badge as a symbol of everything that went wrong that night. For him, J.J.'s decision to return to the police force feels like a personal affront, a refusal to acknowledge the gravity of what happened. J.J., on the other hand, is caught in a torment of his own. He's not the reckless young cop he once was. He's grown, matured, and carries the weight of his past actions every day. Yet, no matter how much he's changed, he can't erase the pain he caused Theo, nor can he escape the judgment of a town that still whispers about the shooting behind closed doors. The weight of the badge, J.J.'s internal struggle. J.J. Devereaux has never been a stranger to inner turmoil. From his troubled youth to his battles with addiction, J.J.'s journey has been one of redemption, relapse, and resilience. His return to the Salem Police Department was supposed to be a triumph, a chance to rewrite his story and prove that he's more than the sum of his mistakes. But Theo's reaction has thrown J.J.'s carefully constructed world into chaos. Every time he straps on his holster, he's forced to confront the reality that his presence as a cop is a trigger for someone he once called a friend. The badge, once a symbol of pride, now feels like a lead weight around his neck, pulling him deeper into a moral quagmire. Imagine the torment of standing in J.J.'s shoes. Every day, he walks the streets of Salem, knowing that his very presence could reopen old wounds. He sees the sidelong glances from neighbors, hears the hushed conversations in the Brady pub, and feels the unspoken accusations in Theo's eyes. Can he continue to serve as a cop, knowing the pain it causes? Can he bear to remain in a town where his past is a constant shadow, threatening to eclipse any good he tries to do? For J.J., the answers to these questions are far from clear, and the emotional toll is palpable. Theo's trauma, a wound that won't heal. To understand the depth of this conflict, we must also consider Theo Carver's perspective. The shooting wasn't just a moment in time for Theo, it was a life-altering event that reshaped his sense of safety, trust, and identity. The physical scars may have faded, but the emotional ones run deep. Theo has spent years rebuilding his life, trying to move past the trauma of that night. But seeing JJ back in uniform, carrying a gun as if nothing ever happened, feels like a betrayal of everything Theo has fought to overcome. Theo's anger isn't just directed at JJ, it's directed at a system that allowed JJ to return to the force, at a town that seems to have moved on while he's still stuck in the aftermath. For Theo, JJ's badge isn't just a piece of metal, it's a symbol of the injustice he feels, a reminder that the man who shot him is still walking the same streets, carrying the same weapon. The confrontation between them wasn't just a clash of words, it was a raw, unfiltered outpouring of pain, with Theo demanding answers and JJ struggling to provide them. Salem's reaction, a town divided. As news of JJ and Theo's clash spreads through Salem, the town finds itself divided. Some residents see JJ as a man who's paid for his mistakes and deserves a second chance. They point to his years of service, his efforts to make amends, and the undeniable fact that he never intended to harm Theo. Others, however, side with Theo, arguing that JJ's return to the police force is insensitive at best and reckless at worst. The Brady Pub, Horton Town Square, and even the DiMera Mansion have become battlegrounds for heated debates, with friends and families taking sides in a conflict that threatens to tear Salem apart. For JJ, the town's reaction only adds to his burden. He's always been a man who craves acceptance, who wants to belong to the community that raised him. But now he's caught in a no-man's land, torn between his duty as a cop and his desire to make things right with Theo. The whispers and stares follow him everywhere, a constant reminder that his past is never truly behind him. And as the pressure mounts, JJ is forced to confront a question that could change his life forever. Is it time to leave Salem? The possibility of departure. Will JJ say goodbye? This brings us to the heart of our discussion. Will JJ Devereaux leave Salem for good? The signs are certainly pointing in that direction. The clash with Theo has left JJ questioning everything: his career, his place in the town, and even his own sense of self. For a man who's spent years trying to atone for his past, the idea of staying in a place where his presence causes pain may be too much to bear. Leaving Salem could be JJ's way of breaking free from the cycle of guilt and judgment, a chance to start fresh somewhere new. But leaving wouldn't be easy. Salem is more than just a town for JJ, it's home. It's where his family, the Hortons and the Bradys, have built their legacy. It's where he fell in love, lost love, and fought to become a better man. Walking away would mean leaving behind his parents, Jack and Jennifer, his sister Abigail, if she's still in the picture, and the memories of all he's endured. It would mean saying goodbye to the life he's fought so hard to rebuild. And yet, the weight of Theo's pain, combined with the town's divided loyalties, might be enough to push JJ to the edge. Then there's the question of JJ's career. Quitting the police force would be a monumental decision, one that would force JJ to redefine who he is. Without his badge, what does he have left? Would he stay in Salem as a civilian, or would the pull of a fresh start elsewhere prove too strong? The idea of JJ leaving isn't just about geography, it's about identity, purpose, and the search for peace in a life marked by turmoil. Casey Moss, the man behind the drama. Of course, we can't discuss JJ's potential departure without addressing the elephant in the room. What would it mean for Casey Moss, the actor who's brought JJ Devereaux to life for over a decade? Moss's portrayal of JJ has been nothing short of extraordinary, capturing the character's vulnerability, strength, and relentless quest for redemption. From JJ's rebellious teenage years to his struggles with addiction and his growth into a dedicated cop, Moss has delivered a performance that's kept fans glued to their screens. If JJ were to leave Salem, it would mark the end of an era for Days of Our Lives. Moss's chemistry with his co-stars, Particularly his scenes with Theo's portrayer, Kyler Pettis, has been a highlight of the show, bringing raw emotion and authenticity to every moment. The thought of saying goodbye to Moss's JJ is almost too much for fans to bear, but it's a possibility we must confront. Would the show write JJ out permanently, or could this be another temporary exit, leaving the door open for a future return? Only time will tell, but the uncertainty is enough to keep us on the edge of our seats. The bigger picture, themes of redemption and forgiveness. At its core, JJ and Theo's storyline is about more than just one man's decision to stay or go. It's a story about redemption, forgiveness, and the long shadow of past mistakes. JJ's journey is one of trying to make amends in a world that doesn't always offer second chances. Theo's struggle is about finding a way to heal when the source of your pain is still a part of your life. And for Salem, it's about grappling with the complexities of justice, accountability, and community in the face of tragedy. This storyline also raises broader questions about the role of law enforcement in society. JJ's decision to return to the police force wasn't just a personal choice, it was a statement about his belief in the system, flawed though it may be. Theo's reaction, however, challenges that belief, forcing JJ and the audience to confront uncomfortable truths about the impact of policing on those who've been hurt by it. In a world where these issues are all too real, Days of Our Lives is using JJ and Theo's story to spark a conversation that's both timely and timeless. What's next for JJ? Our predictions. So, where does JJ go from here? At TV Days Drama Digest, we've been tossing around a few possibilities, each more dramatic than the last. One scenario sees JJ doubling down on his commitment to the police force, determined to prove that he's changed and that he can make a difference. This path would likely lead to more conflict with Theo, as well as tension with other Salem residents who question his right to wear the badge. It would be a bold, defiant choice, but one that could cost JJ dearly in terms of relationships and peace of mind. Another possibility is that JJ chooses to leave the police force, but stays in Salem, seeking a new path forward. Perhaps he takes up a role at Horton Town Square, working alongside his family, or even explores a career outside of law enforcement altogether. This would allow JJ to remain a part of the day's canvas, while opening up new storylines and relationships. However, staying in Salem would mean facing Theo and the town's judgment every day, a challenge that might prove too much for JJ's already fragile psyche. Then there's the most dramatic option of all. JJ leaves Salem entirely, striking out on his own to find a fresh start. This could take him to a new city, a new job, or even a new love interest, setting the stage for a bold new chapter in JJ's life. While this would be a gut punch for fans, it would also offer Casey Moss the chance to explore new opportunities, perhaps returning to Salem years down the line as a changed man. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this storyline so compelling. The fans speak. What do you think? As we wrap up our deep dive into JJ's potential departure, we want to hear from you, the fans. Days of Our Lives has always been about the community of viewers who live and breathe these stories alongside us. Do you think JJ will leave Salem, or will he find a way to make peace with Theo and stay? Should he give up his badge, or is his role as a cop too integral to who he is? And what about Casey Moss? Can you imagine Salem without him, or do you hold out hope for a triumphant return? We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.